Hey, welcome to Board Game. Today I'm Brett. In my hands is the Marvel Multiverse Role-Playing Game Spider-Verse expansion, the latest expansion book for the role-playing game universe or system, whatever you want to call it. So, for those who don't know, the Marvel Multiverse Role-Playing Game is exactly what it sounds like. It allows you to do role-playing games in the Marvel Universe, and they've been putting out various expansions, kind of more source books is I think the great way of describing them, that expands upon one certain aspect of the Marvel Universe. So we had one that was the Kang War, which was just a nice book about that gave you a whole bunch of scenarios to play. There's one with the X-Men, and now we've got Spider-Verse. And as you can imagine, this is all about Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse. So there is very, very heavy lore, information, characters, all about Spider-Man and his crew. But it is everything. As I said, it's the Spider-Verse, so, there's a lot to cover in this. So as usual, there's a nice introduction, talks about the Spider-Verse, its origin, how to play into it, and then it goes into some of the main characters. Spider-Man, the Peter Parker version, the Miles Morales version, we get Ghost Spider, Spider-Man 2099, those are kind of like the main characters you'd expect with the Spider-Verse, and then a whole bunch of other Spider characters. But beyond that, it talks about things like clones, it talks about the symbiotes, there's new rules within, and of course, it's packed with characters for you to use in your games. This is one that if you want to run anything to do with Spider-Man or the characters, it's a great expansion. As I said, it takes through the main characters, and then it goes deeper from there. It's everything you could want in it. We'll skip the characters. I don't think you need to know. But it goes into things like this. We got Brooklyn Academy for Miles Morales. So if you have Miles or want to play Miles, there you go. We got some Alchemex Research Facility to learn about Spider-Man 2099. And then side characters or other Spider characters. You got like Silk and Spider-Boy and various Spider-Women and Superior Spider-Man and Spider-Man from different Earths. And that's the one thing that really kind of I like about this. This is a cool book in that it gives a lot of ideas to be able to play your games. You have clones. It gives you a lot of ideas for the game masters to use the concept of clones with your own adventures. Like, how would you use it? What were the type of things you would want to focus in on that sort of storytelling or adventure? So, things like making sure there's details of, characters maybe acting a little bit different, and how to resolve those sort of things. There's also symbiotes. There we go. Oh, just blew past that one. Of course, you've got symbiotes, Carnage, Venom, all their different offspring and versions. They're in here too. The one that did surprise me is not in here is there's nothing with Null, which would make me think that maybe, just maybe, there'd be maybe a book specifically on that. I mean, that's a pretty hefty character to deal with, but it's not one that is actually in here, which kind of surprised me. There is the symbiote dragon, but Null himself is not in here. So we got information on that. That's the one thing I did not see flipping through this and reading through it, was Null himself, which is a little bit, I don't know, it feels like a little bit odd to not have that character in there. So new rules. There's of course rules for side characters that are important. One I thought was really cool. There's focusing on secret identities in this. So obviously, if you keep your secret identity, you don't want it found out. And who are you protecting with your secret identity? I think that's something that's a neat aspect. Of course, you've got new rules for things like symbiotes and clones, and small little details of that. So there's a little bit in here that's specific to Spider-Man. So there's things with supporting characters. Teams of villains, teams of heroes, hero reputation, which I thought was really cool. Of you hear about the hero through other means. There's things a lot with variants and different versions from other universes and how to deal with it. And of course, new equipment like gliders and spider bike, and I believe the Spider-Mobile is in here. Oh, yep, on the next page, Spider-Mobile. And then there's, of course, so many characters in here. There's a lot. Of course, you also get, stuff with new character or new encounters. You get maps like that, sewers, and then it's packed with characters. A to Z, Agent Venom on, kind of just flip through as I talk about it. So, I mean, basically, if you want to run your role-playing games with Spider-Man or, some version of that, maybe your own superhero that just so happens to have a down-on-luck sort of thing like Spider-Man, or dealing with lots of clones and different versions of multiverse, this is a really solid book to get. I think this adds a bunch to the game that feels very, centric to Spider-Man. So, this is not stuff that I think maybe is vital for general if you want to play, but if you are doing very Spider-centric stuff, Spider-Verse-centric stuff, whatever, there's also Henchmen. This does feel like a great addition, a great book to add. So you can go get this. This is out in shops. You can go get it. Of course, we've got links underneath this video where you can purchase yours. There'll be affiliate links, so we do get a small percentage. By doing that, you help support our site. But of course, just watching our video supports us as always, so thank you for that. If you are into role-playing games, if you're into board games, card games, miniature games, tabletop games in general, check us out at boardgametoday.com. And of course, you can follow us on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, all that stuff. All at Board Game Today, keeping it nice and consistent. So until next time, keep rolling that dice and get your game on. Hey, thanks for watching Board Game Today. We always appreciate your views and your support, but there are so many ways for you to support our site. Not only can you do right here on video, but you can go and check us out at boardgametoday.com, where we have more news, reviews, interviews, everything you could ever want. But since you're here, if you could, you can always give us a like, subscribe, or share our videos or watch something else. Is always much appreciated, and get your game on.